Dear chess lovers, our guest today is one of the most popular and nicest chess streamers, Eric Rosen. How did he become an international master? Despite being shy in front of camera, how did he manage to become one of the most loved streamers? How does he fuel his journey? And overall, it seems to me he lives on his terms and has hacked some life code that you and I don't know. Let's find out. Eric, when I was researching, I noticed that you are not doing what you don't want to do mainly. So thank you very much for accepting this invitation.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we finally made it. Yeah, we were planning this for months and then finally we scheduled it.
Yeah, I think you first messaged me in maybe June, but then I got busy. I was traveling internationally, and then I had a few other trips more recently, but back home have more free time, so it's great to have a time to chat.
I really cannot imagine how you are keeping adding so many content, streaming, adding stuff on YouTube, and also doing what you love to do, being in St. Louis, playing tennis, playing poker. So we'll come back to that. I'm very curious to ask this question, how you are managing everything in that 24 hours. It seems we have the same time, but you are managing so much. But let's start from your very early career. Tell me, please, at what age and who brought you to this beautiful chess world?
Yeah, I was 7 years old on a family vacation in the Bahamas, and my older brother, who at the time was, I guess, 11 or 12, he taught me how to play. There was a chessboard in the hotel library that we were staying in. And I think from the moment I learned the rules, I just got really into it. And then after getting back from this vacation, I was bugging my parents to find a chess camp or class to take me to, and eventually they found a local Park District class. We lived in the Chicago area, and when I attended the class, I was beating a lot of the players there who were older than me, including my older brother. So very shortly after that, we found out about tournaments, and then played my first tournament at 8 years old, and kind of took off from there. Did you learn chess in one day? Did your brother manage to teach you in one day? My memory is a bit hazy, but he taught me all the basic rules, and I think at the time I was already kind of into puzzles and math, and I had maybe a longer attention span for that, compared to the average 7-year-old. So yeah, I think we after teaching me how to play, we tried to play a practice game or something, but I just kind of fell in love with the fact that you're kind of in control of your whole army, and there's all this strategy of trying to take down your opponent. And I've also been quite competitive growing up, so chess it's always felt like a natural fit for me in terms of a game and kind of an art and science to pursue. Do you remember when did you beat your brother first time? I wish I could. My brother, but also my dad, who's just an avid beginner player. They were my earliest opponents, and I remember more having these matches against my dad when I was younger, and he was usually consistently beating me when shortly after I learned how to play. But when I was 8 years old, I attended my first chess camp. My coach at the camp was Tamara Golove. Maybe you know the name. Yeah. She's actually the childhood trainer of Boris Gelfand and Yuri Shulman. Yeah. And she had come over from Belarus, I guess, a few years before. And after I attended that camp and absorbed a lot of the knowledge that she provided me with, my dad was no longer able to consistently beat me. And from there, I've actually had her as my main coach for most of my childhood. And she really gave me a strong foundation for the game and really helped me improve up until the kind of amateur 16 to 1700 level. Were you beating your dad with Stafford Gambit or Stafford you came up with later? I didn't even know about the Stafford until I started streaming. So
Okay,
yeah,
I
I
will get
discovered
there.
the Stafford many years later.
We will get there.
Sure.
It's so interesting. We had we have little bit similarity in how we got to chess, but in my case, I was not fully in love with chess immediately. So my grandmother taught me to play chess when I was 4. Then my father was in the war. So we were it was bad economical situation in the country. We didn't have lights. So under the candlelight, my grandma was teaching me to play chess. And I beat her the very first game we played.
Oh, wow.
And then we switched to backgammon. So I didn't have
Okay.
a really love for chess. But when my father came back from the war, my father is strong, so he has 24 on chess.com, just so you can imagine his level. He was beating me with taking all of his pieces and with just playing 2 bishops. And chess was for me, not I was playing it because I loved it, but because it was a way to connect with my father. Whenever he was very busy, because he came back from the war, trying to find a job, he was barely making the ends. And when I was saying, Dad, let's play chess, he had no answer. He had to play chess. So in my case, it was just to connect with my father. But he was my first, in your case, he was my first opponent. I should beat that. But I beat it many, many years later, comparing.
Sure, it takes time to get that to that level.
Yeah. One of your motivators, I found that in childhood you wanted to have lots of trophies. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so this is a big thing in the US at scholastic tournaments, especially the national scholastic tournaments. There's a lot of trophies up for grabs, and usually if you win one of the top places, you'd get a trophy. Sometimes almost as tall as you if you're a younger kid. So when my first national tournament was, I guess, in 2nd grade, played in Oregon. It was the first time traveling out of state for a chess tournament. And I don't know if I won a trophy at that tournament, but over the years of playing these scholastic events, I kind of kept a trophy collection in my bedroom. And by the time I was in my teens, I had probably 50 to 100 trophies on my dresser and in my bookshelf and everything. So it was kind of a symbol of all the hard work I put in. As I got older, I did kind of lose interest in trophies and focus more on other benefits from the game. But it was definitely an early motivator of getting a special prize for performing well in a tournament.
Do you keep the trophies? Are they still there?
I have a lot of them still saved at my parents' house. They're a lot of them are in storage in our basement, but the more important ones I do have with me. I have one behind me. It's this national high school championship that I won in 2011. It was the first time, and really only time I won a national scholastic championship. So that's
was it the
special one for
time
me.
when they gave you Eric Rosen Day? Was it that one?
Yeah. So that was when when I came back, my high school had a special day in my honor. And actually my the town I grew up in, Skokie, Illinois, also had an Eric Rosen Day, and the mayor made it official. So it's not an annual thing, but it did take place it was May 2011. Yeah.
Can you guess how many cups I got in my life?
How many caps?
I mean trophies.
Oh, trophies. You have to have at least a few. I think I spot at least one behind you.
It's not mine. It's Gabuzian's.
It's not yours. Okay.
Try to say number.
Let's say 20 to 30. No, it's
Lower.
lower.
Yeah.
Is it less than 5?
Yes, I got just 2 trophies in my life.
Wow. Do they not have trophies growing up in Armenia? Or?
Once when I was in the USA, a coach, a grandmaster coach, I will not tell his name, he was saying, guys, you are everything doing wrong. So here is how we are doing here. We are making tournaments. We are giving trophies to almost everyone. Everyone are happy. Kids are happy. Parents are happy. Us are happy. In Armenia, what you are doing, You are trying to work so hard to improve. Just give trophies and everyone are happy. So in my country, it was not trophies. And myself, I didn't win any European or world championships under junior in my junior categories. So I had just two trophies in my life, and some Gabusian have behind that you see. And one day I came home, I had that two trophies that my mother put it in the lobby when you enter to our home, and she was very proud of the trophies. And then one day I came and I took all the trophies, all my diplomas, and I put in the shields. And my mother was, "What are you doing?" I said, "Mom, I am very tired." I was like 13 or 14. I said, "I am very tired that everyone are talking to me as a chess player and not as a human. They are, oh, you are a chess player, you are Avati Grigorian," and it was Avati Grigorian as a chess player, Armenian champion, etc., etc. Nobody is talking to me as a just human, just a person. So I took everything, and I never seen my caps anymore. I don't know where they are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sometimes like you don't realize how meaningful they can be many years later. It's nice to have like some memories from childhood.
True. Eric, so having trophies was like I believe childhood like motivation. What were your other motivation to grow further, or it was just love for chess?
Yeah, I mean, early on, I just had a lot of like positive associations with chess. Like it allowed me to travel, and I developed a friends group outside the friends who I made at school. I had like so many chess friends from all over, and I think over the years, it's also just opened up so many doors in terms of just seeing new places, having kind of new experiences, and yeah, I think like there's so much that chess has brought to my life that it's it's hard to identify like all the motivating factors because it does change over time. But of course, when I was younger, it was a lot about competition, and I was like towards the top of my the rating list for my age. So I was very competitive with other top players for my age. Now, of course, like things have changed a lot in recent years, and like when I was 10, I was 1600, and that put me in the top, like maybe top 20 nationally or something. But now it's much more competitive. So yeah, I think I was fortunate to grow up at a time where I was still I could be like a very competitive player at that rating, and yeah, I worked with a lot of different coaches growing up, and was lucky to have like very supportive parents who took me to so many different events, and yeah, I really was able to keep the passion throughout my schooling years, and then beyond high school and college, I'm still able to keep the passion to this day.
Uh, Eric, did you have like almost every child a goal to become a world champion?
I don't think I ever had that exact goal. I've definitely had like rating goals. Like when I was much younger, I wanted to get to expert and then master. Like by the time I reached high school, but yeah, I don't think world champion was ever like at least a realistic possibility for me, or something I thought so much of. But I've always had the goal to like try and reach my full potential, and more recently, my goals have been just to enjoy chess and to keep the passion and to keep things fresh and interesting for myself.
Um, did you ever wanted like did you have a goal to become a grandmaster and then you switch your goal to just enjoy the chess?
That's a good question. I don't think I was ever so focused on getting to Grandmaster because even when I got to FIDE Master, I thought like, oh wow, I've made it. Like I don't really like I'll be content for the rest of my life if I just stay as a FM. Even when I got to expert, I was already like pretty content, and then I just kept working and working, and I did plateau for a bit. I was plateaued around like 2300 for 4 to 5 years, and then at some point I had like this pretty big jump and got 3 IM norms in the span of like a few months, or 2 IM norms in the span of a few months back in 2015, and then got the IM title. And once I became IM, I was also like just thrilled and thought that Grandmaster is still so far away that it's not going to be my main focus. And I pretty quickly made the realization that I'm not going to be a professional player. At least that's not going to be my primary way of making a living. And it was, I guess, in my last couple of years of university, I was studying at Webster University and playing for the Webster chess team under Susan Polgar and surrounded by a lot of grandmasters. But at that point, I was, I guess, more focused on developing other skill sets beyond just playing chess. I was getting really into teaching and doing like freelance work and kind of building other skills in terms of like video production and photography and digital media. So that kind of manifested over the years as well. And I've always tried to keep a balance in life and not just be solely focused on playing chess, but having other interests as well.
I have been in Webster University in 2019 when I was in the St. Louis, and Susan Bolger invited me there. I had never seen in my life such a chess place that you enter there and you want to do chess. Such an atmosphere, so many books, such a beautiful room. There is Susan Polgar, there are other grandmasters and young players. I have never seen in my life such an atmosphere. So I have this question: when you are around with so many strong players, does it motivate you, or at the same time it's like, oh, they are so strong, I am so behind them, I will not get there? Which feeling is more?
It was actually a mix. Like, I was super grateful to be like kind of the one of the lowest rated players in the room, but at the same time, like, it, I think, hurt my confidence a bit because we would have training sessions where we're solving like very, very difficult exercises. And we would be given maybe an hour to 90 minutes to solve like 8 very difficult exercises. And during these sessions, I would only like get maybe 2 or 3 right, while other players on the team were getting all of them correct. So it was kind of a mix. And actually, during my time at Webster, my rating dropped maybe like 50 points, even though I think I really improved and expanded my knowledge as a chess player. I just didn't have great tournament performances, maybe partly because my confidence suffered. But I mean, to be in the same room and just hanging out with these top level grandmasters all the time, I mean, even top players in the world, like there was Laquan Liam, Ilya Nizhnik, Shimanov, Ray Robson, just so many amazing people to learn from. That is definitely a kind of super memorable experience that and a lot of these players I'm still like good friends with today. That it's just such an honor to be connected with them and to have them like kind of accessible to ask questions to and learn from. So I'm happy that I've kind of went through the experience.
Like when you were in the Webster University, you were FM or IM already?
So I fulfilled all the requirements for IM right before I started Webster. So I think I started at Webster in August 2015, and my IM title was approved maybe that September or October. So
got it.
Yeah.
So you got some plateau when you hit plateau when you were FM level, yes. So many chess players are hitting plateaus, and they are like, I plateaued. How can I cross it? Do you remember what did you do exactly to cross the plateau? What were the steps, or it's been too long ago and you don't remember exactly the steps you took?
Well, I actually wrote like a whole article on Chess Life Online, uschess.org, like their online article. And I think it's still there. It was
cool. I will add the link in the description.
Yeah, it was
tell
lessons
more.
From the 2015 Philly Open. And that was a tournament where I kind of escaped this rating plateau for however long, like 4 years of being around the same rating. And I had just such a good result, jumping maybe over 50 points in one tournament. And then a couple months later, I played the Chicago Open, and that was one of the best tournaments of my life. I was like half a point away from Grandmaster Norm, also half a point away from tying for first. Like if I won my last round, I would have tied for first with Jeffrey Zhang over like 20 or so grandmasters who were playing. And in the article that I wrote on US Chess, I kind of outlined what I did leading up to the tournament, but then also like during the tournament, just kind of have a really strong result. And a lot of what I did was more, I would say, improvement based and also mindset based. Like I didn't really have a specific rating goal. I was more focused on study goals. And I was putting a lot of time into studying chess, especially like this January through May of 2015. I took a break from university. So I was studying at University of Illinois, and that was kind of my gap semester before transferring to Webster. And I was just working a lot on my chess. I had a few training partners, and for several hours every day for long stretches of time, I was like playing training games, solving difficult exercises, and reviewing master games, going through chess books. And I think all this study kind of compiled enough to translate into a very strong tournament performance. But all of it was kind of done with intent to kind of expand different areas of my play. Like I was playing different openings. I was really trying to get that spark, and it definitely paid off.
Eric, you said you focused on also mindset improvement. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And this ChessMood podcast, I didn't start to have just a chess podcast. I started it because I felt there is a gap that the chess world doesn't understand the importance of mindset, and that sometimes just one good mindset book can be more effective than 10 chess books. And this was the reason that I started the ChessMood podcast. Tell me, please, how did you work on your mindset, and what were the problems you were feeling in your chess that you wanted to fix, and how did you fix them?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that took me so many years to overcome was dealing with losing a game or dealing with a bad performance. And especially for younger players out there, this can be a very difficult thing to handle in like a mature and healthy manner. Because when I was younger, I hated to lose. Like, it was super competitive. I would sometimes cry or just really get upset, especially games where I make like a one move blunder or lose focus or whatever. But like over time and after losing enough games, I realized that it's like losing is inevitable, and it's an essential part to getting stronger. And like losing is okay as long as you can reflect and understand what you did wrong and what you can do differently next time. And as I kind of internalize this concept, I think this helped me approach tournaments with just a healthier point of view, where like if I lose a game, okay, it's still painful, but at least I can have an approach where I analyze a game, I see exactly what went wrong. Even if it's like a basic mistake that I should have known better, sometimes there's underlying reasons, like I didn't get enough sleep, I was unfocused, I didn't have like the right thought process. And if you can kind of identify tendencies in what's going wrong, and then be able to minimize these moments where maybe your mind isn't working the right way, or maybe you're losing focus, then hopefully that can lead to a lot of improvement. So yeah, I think that, like, not only in chess but also in life, like learning how to just learn from your mistakes and also manage your emotions can just make a huge difference in your overall journey of improvement.
It's one of the important skills, yeah, to learn from what happened and to improve. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's as you said in chess and in life. This seems very logical, but it's it's easier to say than to do it, right? So how did you came to this awareness? Did you read some book? Did you watch a podcast? Did you talk to some friend who explained you that Eric learned from the mistake, etc.? How did it happen to you? How did you come to such a level of awareness?
That's a great question. I don't know if there is any like one thing that helped me with this. I think it was very gradual. I had a lot of like very great coaches growing up. After after my time with Tamara Golove, I was working a lot with Grandmaster Dmitry Gurevich, who is a pretty renowned coach, at least like for players in the U.S. He's coached like a lot of young talents and a lot of eventual like national champions for the scholastic level. And I think he helped me a lot with mindset and like with games. Like, we would review like a lot of my almost all my tournament games from the time I was like 1600 all the way up until like I was 2400. And his approach with like going over my games, especially the losses, was he would really break down what was going wrong psychologically, but also based on my chess understanding. And it helped me kind of detach from the emotional pain of maybe losing the game or having that disappointment, and actually focus on what I need to work on to become better. And I think that really helped. And he was able to identify like kind of the weaknesses in my play. I should also mention Yuri Shulman was another grandmaster I worked with a lot. Like he taught a lot of chess camps as I was growing up, and even after high school and into college, like he was giving lessons and also had kind of the same philosophy of breaking down my tendencies and weaknesses and kind of giving me the motivation of what I need to do to improve.
Yuri Shulman, you said, yeah?
Yeah. I saw him recently. He was inducted into the U.S. Chess Hall of Fame. Came by St. Louis.
It was 2010. I was in the national team of Armenia and we were going to Olympiad. So I was the reserve player, number 5, when they're in the teams there are Aronian, Sargsyan, Akopian. So I was just 21-year-old, so I was ashamed, and it was my first game, the first game I should have played. And I was nervous. I was sitting in the bus. Somehow I sit there, and next to me there was no one. I was in my brain, still nervous. And then somebody sat next to me and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, "I'm good," thinking about my first game. And he said, like, "You're a bit nervous." "Yeah, I know." I said, yeah, I'm nervous. And he gave his hand and said, "Nice to meet you. I'm Yuri Shulman. I'm Shulman." And like, oh, nice to meet you. So he talked to me, and I don't know how he talked to me, but in a few minutes I was okay. I relaxed. I don't remember exactly the advice he gave me, but I felt I relaxed and I was ready for my first game. So I remember him very well. Eric, learning from the mistakes, it's crucial, and you took it from chess to life, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that you took from chess to life?
That's another great question. Yeah, I have to think about that one for a moment.
Take your time.
I mean, part of it is like embracing the growth mindset of being willing to go outside your comfort zone and embrace challenges rather than kind of just staying within your comfort zone and doing what's maybe what's easy. Like, in order to grow as a chess player or as a human, you really need to sometimes take risks and experiment. And obviously it doesn't always pay off, but I think it's important to focus on what will benefit you long term rather than just going for like the short term instant gratification. So I've tried to make an effort to like keep learning in life. And this was especially important like after graduating from university. When I was done with my formal studies, I think it's just easy to quit reading books or consuming like educational content. But like in chess and in life, I think it's important to be just a lifelong student and kind of have that sort of beginner mindset where there's just so much information out there to learn and to improve overall. So like one of the big things I did after graduating university that was really outside my comfort zone was actually starting my like my Twitch and YouTube channels. Because I mean, when I was younger, I was super camera shy. I hated public speaking. I was very self-conscious of my voice. And there's this concept, I don't know where I've heard it. I really wish I can attribute this to someone, but I remember hearing like there's some quote like, "What if you could turn your greatest weakness into a strength?" And that really stuck with me because I think it was in reference to chess. Like if you're really bad at endgames, for example, what if you really put in the work and then become great at endgames? Then maybe you could really boost your game. Same thing with openings. Some
Wow.
people like don't really study openings, but if you have like very solid opening repertoire. So remember like thinking like if I got better at like putting myself out there and like actually being able to talk in front of the camera and record content and be more comfortable, then okay, maybe there's potential with kind of my background in chess. And I was also teaching a lot, had a lot of private students at the time. So I put in a lot of hours like recording content, like recording for YouTube and doing live streams where it was really outside my comfort zone. Like I was still very self-conscious and I would kind of get stage fright even just sitting in front of my computer, but I still enjoyed it. I kind of used chess as a way to get a bit more comfortable and to share my passion with whoever was watching online. And yeah, over the years, I kind of just tried to improve as a content creator, presenter, communicator, and I think that's it's definitely helped me to get to where I am today.
Which year it was that you started to go to your from comfort zone to uncomfort zone and start sitting in front of the camera?
It was actually after I graduated university. It was 2017.
2017.
And yeah, when after I graduated, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stick with chess or maybe get a mainstream job or do freelance, but I knew it was kind of a year to I was planning to take a gap year and just experiment and try things and see what would stick.
And when did you realize that, okay, I'm going to become a streamer and content creator, or it just went with a natural flow?
Yeah, it was a bit gradual. Probably like the first 6 months to a year, there was very little return on investment. So I was putting in tons of hours into it. And yeah, in the beginning, you don't really get much, especially in terms of like revenue from Twitch or YouTube. So there's a lot of investment in time. But as I was kind of learning the ecosystem of being a content creator, I think I developed a lot of skills that I didn't have before. And like very gradually the audience kind of built up, and I was also still like coaching a lot. So I was supporting myself basically through giving private lessons and having Twitch and YouTube as kind of a side project. But then it gradually took over to a point where it was more, made more sense to focus on Twitch and YouTube rather than just one-on-one lessons because it was more scalable and I could reach a larger audience.
Eric, so you are international master. You are the top top chess player. Then you are coaching very successfully. There is a line who are, Eric, can you coach us? So you are like good there too. And then you start content creating, but at first you suck. At first you do so much, and then there is like 500 views. So your ego is getting hurt, right? Like how do you keep going 6 months, 1 year when you are putting so many hours, but there was not that amount of back of it for your investment? Yeah, how were you finding that strength to keep going when you were not seeing that results?
Yeah, that's another good question. I did see the results like very gradually, and I think it helped, like even having a very small audience who was supportive and would kind of give me that early boost in confidence. Because there was definitely, I mean, at the very beginning, obviously there wasn't like hundreds or thousands of people watching, but maybe there were like 5 people watching who found my content useful, and that was enough of a motivation to kind of keep going and realize that okay, I'm bringing some positive change to people, helping people improve their games, and yeah, then over time as things grew, then it was even more of a motivation, and realized there's actually a big responsibility to be consistent and be a good role model. And yeah, I've also tried to just be grateful for the fact that I'm able to make a career out of what I love. And it's sometimes a very difficult thing to achieve in life, but yeah, I try not to take it for granted.
You said something very interesting that early supporters, yeah, when you start something, there are even 5 people who are supporting and always commenting, saying, I love that video, and they are giving kind of inner strength, yeah, to go forward, how important they are. And often I see some content creators or other people, they don't realize that, and they are thinking that they are even not grateful, really. But these early supporters are so important. I'm having sometimes days at ChessMood when I'm coming to the office in a mood, I'm going to do that. I'm sitting in the meeting room, putting my notes, starting to what I will do today, and then I feel I don't want to do. Nothing is going on that day. Something is slow. The next day I have the same feeling. I don't do that good. So what I do is whenever I'm getting some great feedback, email, review on the website, some comment under Twitter or under some course, so what I do, I screenshot them. And I put all of that screenshots in a separate folder. Mm-hmm. And when I'm having these low moments, I'm going there and just starting to scroll. I literally take the laptop, go to the garden, sit there, take a coffee, and for some 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, I will just scroll. I will scroll, read them. And even when I feel like, come on, we have such a product at ChessMood, and there are millions of people who don't know about them, I feel low. But these people's feedback, these people's reviews, there are some nice words, some jokes. It gives such a motivation to push forward that you forget that about low numbers, you forget putting yourself in the competing mode, like I'm having this amount of views or this amount of students, others having that. You suddenly get out from that competitive mode and you're like, okay, I'm just growing. Yeah. So how cool are these early supporters and how grateful we should be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. I actually wish I did something similar, because I feel like that's like just a huge motivational boost, and it gives you a different perspective too of the difference that you're making. But I sometimes do this with just like reading the YouTube comments, and there's just so much like positivity, and yeah, it's super nice when people just give like supportive feedback. So.
Eric, when you started to stream, there was a case when you played a tournament in Chess.com and there was an anonymous player you beat that anonymous player, and then it kind of gave you a boost, yeah? Tell me that
Hmm.
story.
Yeah, so this was in 2018, I guess, and like I was already streaming for several months, and I was playing this Lee Chess titled arena, and the very first game that I played was playing some account. The username of the account was Man with a Van, and its rating was like 2,500 something. They had the GM title, but I didn't really think of much of it. I ended up beating the player, and then later on during my stream, my Twitch chat was telling me that I had defeated Magnus Carlsen because it was revealed that this account was actually Magnus. And okay, he was supposedly playing from a van on his phone. So I guess I did unknowingly beat the world champion at the time. And he actually ended up winning the tournament. And I was one of only maybe 3 players who beat him over the course of like 2 hours. It was bullet chess, so definitely a faster time control, but it was still cool to have like defeated Magnus the first game I've ever played him. And then several months later, of course, I took the clip from the stream, I put it on YouTube, and November of that year, I had like opened up Reddit the first one day, and like the first thing I saw was my video shared of like beating Magnus, and it had like over 40,000 upvotes. It was like on the front page of Reddit. It was a r/videos subreddit, and there was just a huge boost to my viewership on YouTube. I got like 500,000 views in one day, and it went kind of mainstream. I think the title of the post was like "Small Time Chess Streamer Unknowingly like beats a world chess champion," and it was a nice kind of David versus Goliath type story, and that definitely gave some nice exposure for many weeks and months to come. Having an appearance on the front page of Reddit. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
You mainly stream on Lichess, right? Not on chess.com.
I stream on both. I'm not exclusive to any one site, but I do very much like Lichess, and there's a lot of features on Lichess I prefer using. So yeah, I'd say maybe 70 to 80% of my streams are there.
Does it also like it's after beating Carlsen, it becomes pleasant to play on Lichess, so there is a pleasant memory there?
Yeah. It's I mean, I've gone on to play Carlsen a number of more games, and he now has a lifetime plus score against me. But I also beat him in like a 960 title arena, so it's nice to at least have a couple scalps against him. But yeah, some very happy memories on Lichess.
Eric, you are known as a very nice guy among like the streamers, but at the same time you are very competitive. And when you are talking, solving puzzle, you are in very kind voice, nice. But when you are playing, you are very focused and very concentrated. I have seen some of your streams, and before our episode, I posted on Twitter that I'm going to interview Eric Rosen. What questions would you ask? And Noel Studer asked this question: why did you beat him in the OTB tournament? 3 blitz games in the same day.
Yeah, I met him actually for the first time earlier this year in Biel, Switzerland. He came by and we played some just friendly blitz games, but then we actually played each other in the Biel like blitz side events. And yeah, I really had to try and show no mercy. But I want to say that Noel is like super friendly, like he's super outgoing and just a pleasure to meet and interact with. And yeah, I'm trying to remember
But still no mercy, yeah.
But still no mercy, yeah. Like I'm pretty sure I filmed like all the games I played him, even the one in the Blitz tournament. And I remember he walked into some like very deep opening preparation and got like a very bad position, like as white, like pretty much out of the opening. So I was happy to at least catch him off guard.
I like to get to the level as a as a streamer and content creator, it takes lots of tell me what, discipline, skills, like what someone should have to get to that level. Like, how did you make it?
Yeah, it's a great question. The first word that comes to mind is passion. Like, you really have to enjoy it. And I think this also applies to getting good at chess. Like, there's a whole discussion between talent and hard work. But I think passion is kind of the biggest catalyst for long-term success. So, because if you enjoy what you do, then the hard work kind of just comes naturally. And yeah, a big part of producing content over the years, I mean, obviously like discipline and consistency. But in order to be consistent, I have to stay passionate and be able to kind of keep things fresh and keep learning and growing as not only a chess player, but also content creator, and really try and just improve different aspects of what I do. So
the first is passion that comes to your mind.
Yes.
What's the second that comes to your mind?
Ooh, I'd say consistency.
Yeah.
There's definitely been times where I've felt burnout and I've taken breaks, but even after taking maybe a 2 or 3 week break from not streaming or posting, like there's always kind of that itch of coming back into things and finding the routine and rhythm. And especially these days with putting out live streams or video content, viewers do sometimes like to kind of make you a part of their own daily routine. Like I'm doing this series on YouTube right now. It's a speed run, but it's kind of a slower kind of rating climb where I start at a 400 elo and then I try and gradually work my way up. And I've done, I guess about 8 episodes so far. And people kind of like to see the progress and they're constantly saying that I really have to post longer episodes and more frequently. So I try and live up to it, but I also try and keep balance in my own life as well.
Which is difficult, yeah, often.
It's always a balancing act, yeah. And I think it's important to just pay attention to external factors and health, and like try and have a healthy routine of sleeping and eating and exercise. And I've noticed like with content creation, but also with chess, is sometimes when I'm performing my best, I'm like in a good healthy state on a healthy routine. So I think sometimes those are the most important things to focus on.
Passion, consistency, something else like always developing skills or always learning something else come to your mind?
Yeah, like growth mindset, I would say, of like having that hunger to learn and being willing to step outside your comfort zone, because it's so easy to maybe find something that works and just have it be repetitive, but then that can more easily lead to burnout. So I'm always trying to keep things fresh. And more recently, like I've kind of been wearing the hat of a chess streamer, but also especially this year, like I've gone back into playing and kind of combining the two of playing tournaments and then making content out of the recap videos. And that's kind of reignited my passion for higher level chess and just trying to get back into a competitive mode as well.
There are so many people who are not walking the talk they are doing, and I'm so happy that you are doing it. And the thing you said about passion, it seems you really lived your life with that. Yeah, you always did something that you were passionate about, and you didn't, whatever you started, but you didn't feel passion as, for example, you studied computer science and math, but you felt not passionate about it, right?
Yeah, I'll say I've had like a kind of obsessive personality over the years where I'll get like really into something and sometimes I'll lose interest at some point. So yeah, my first couple years at University of Illinois, I was on track to major in math and computer science. But that was still at a time where I really didn't know what I wanted to do long term. And at some point, I realized that I was not so into the theoretical portion of my studies. Like there was a lot of high level math. Like I was taking some calculus 3 and linear algebra, and I had a hard time seeing like the practical value. And this was around the same time I was really getting into like digital media, like photography and video production, and even like more front end web development. And one of the reasons why I ended up switching universities and ended up switching to Webster University was they offered a program in interactive digital media, which was much more aligned with my interests. And it's not maybe the typical major that most people are even aware of. And at Webster, like maybe there's 5 to 10 other students in my graduating class, but it was something I was very into. Like it was kind of a field that encompassed a lot of different emerging technologies and media, between web development and video and graphics design, and a lot of things that I really just enjoyed doing. And I was doing a lot of like freelance projects and kind of had a side business throughout college of doing websites or photo gigs. And then after graduating and starting my own online brand, it really has meshed well with kind of having an online presence in the chess space. So it's been I think it's been very important to be self-aware and realize what I enjoy and what I want to pursue.
So you synergized your two loves, to your two passions, chess and this digital media stuff that you are learning at Webster.
Right. Yeah, it's nice to kind of combine two maybe seemingly different areas, but kind of see the overlap in them.
Eric, do you think that this streaming is a competitive thing?
I would say inherently live streaming, yes, it's competitive in the sense that when you're live streaming, viewers only watch one live stream at a time. So it's hard to, like, usually when you're a live streamer, you're competing for viewers' attention. And if you're live streaming while, let's say, dozens of other people are also live streaming, then yeah, naturally it's competitive. And unfortunately, sometimes that can lead to conflicts or disputes or whatever. But it also can lead to collaborations and it allows for people to connect. And a nice thing about live streaming, especially the culture on Twitch, is when you finish your live stream, you can send all your viewers to a different stream that's live. That's called a raid on Twitch. And it allows for people to kind of connect and then also kind of plan ahead and support each other. But when you're making content for YouTube, I think maybe it can still be considered competitive. You're still competing for viewers' attention, but the content on YouTube can also just be more evergreen, where you're putting something out there and it's hopefully a piece of content that you're proud of, that people can watch maybe years after you actually release it. And I've noticed this with a lot of my older instructional videos. Like if I put out a lesson, let's say on the Ponziani opening, then viewers are watching it years from now. And I know I'm kind of going on a sidetrack, but this is something I really like about YouTube that maybe doesn't exist on Twitch, where it's just live streams where people can watch whenever they want, and then it's a bit less competitive. So I mean, generally I try and get along with everyone in the chess world, because at the end of the day, we're all kind of sharing common goals and common passion too. So that's very important.
In a minute, I will ask you why I asked this. I tell you why I asked this question.
Sure.
For a second, I will ask you one other question. Earlier, I asked you what did you take from chess to life. And now this question is, what you took from chess to life that you wish you didn't? Any
I wish I
negative things
didn't.
that
Okay.
chess taught you?
Negative things that chess has taught me. Wow. This is a curveball.
I know it's a difficult question. Think about that. Take your time.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like the Stafford Gambit equivalent of life. Man, where I like intentionally do something dubious.
All right.
Might have to come back to this one.
Well, I thought about that recently.
Yeah.
Recently, I mean, like this year maybe. So I felt that chess teaching us to be competitive, and we are playing all the time this zero-sum, harsh zero-sum game. And you are always like win-lose mindset.
Mm-hmm.
There is no win-win. It's just win-lose, win-lose, win-lose. And while it's good sometimes to be competitive in life, and it takes you somewhere, but at the end, this competitive, even if you are getting to becoming Olympic champion, it is not the true happiness. It's like you are getting goals, but if they are not aligned with your values, it's not true happiness. So I felt that often we are in life being still competitive, where we could be collaborative and win more than when we are competing. And you talked a few minutes ago about being collaborative, that yes, streaming is competitive, but at the same time it can be collaborative. And once I posted on Twitter that many chess players are starting to become content creators, and they struggle to switch from competitive mode to collaborative mode. And
That is true. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
And this is what I noticed in you, that you did that switch very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I see that if you're talking about competitiveness, yeah, from outside world, somebody might say that you and Gotham Chess are competing, etc. You and Bota Sisters, you and Nemo and others. But you are collaborative. I see you are making lots of videos together, you are retweeting each other, you are friends together. So maybe while some people are trying to compete with you when they are in Twitch live, when you are live at the same time, you are having it seems to me, tell me if I'm wrong, it seems to me that maybe naturally, maybe it's your values, that you found this nice balance when you understand you should be consistent. There is some competitiveness for who will watch the chess lover, but it's at the same time you have this collaborative mindset.
Yeah, and I think this is a very important kind of culture to embrace, of like kind of supporting each other, because I mean, also being a solo content creator can be very isolating at times, and there can be very few people, especially within short like proximity, that are doing the same thing that you're doing. So I actually just saw the Botez sisters recently. They made a short trip to St. Louis and recorded some content. But yeah, we were talking about like having like there should really be some kind of like support group for chess streamers or chess content creators, where we can kind of support each other and bounce off ideas and get feedback. Because yeah, something like that I don't think really exists, and I think there'd be a lot of benefit to just helping each other in the back end with even simple like social media strategy and just tips, because like the landscape is continually evolving, and it can be very hard to keep up and deal with the stresses and external pressures. So yeah, I'm all about like kind of collaborating, but also supporting other creators. And there's a lot of friends that I have that are kind of doing the same thing I'm doing, of putting out content. And it's so nice to be able to just bounce off ideas and yeah, give each other feedback into how we can improve.
This collaboration, you know, it seems that chess is like all about competitiveness, yeah. But
Hmm.
I think like even in chess, if you want to get to go like really top, even there you should have, even if not like 50-50 balance, you should still have some part of collaborative mindset. What do I mean? So you should have some training partner with whom you genuinely help you share your novelties, your
Hmm.
analysis. You might have chess friends with whom you are sharing your ideas, they are sharing their ideas. I remember there was this one case. Tersakian Samvel, Armenian grandmaster, was playing some tournament. And he played some novelty during the game, and he crushed the opponent. And then I asked, like, how did you come up with that? He said, we were just walking during one of the chess camps, and another grandmaster, we were just talking, and he told about this idea. So I didn't have time to analyze, but I just played. So this was this collaborative mindset that even just walking, a grandmaster shared his novelty with others, and this
That's
is the way
great.
they are growing fast. And when people are asking me how Armenia won so many team championships, 3 times Olympics, being not in the top 5 with rating, winning world championship, I felt that's it. We are very collaborative. We are helping, and people are getting interest too much competitive. Too much competitive. They are. Oh, I found this great book. I'm not going to share with my friend this great book. I will keep it for myself. I
Hmm.
found this novelty. I will keep it for myself. I found this. There was one very funny story. You know, when initially we started ChessMood. You know, initially all our courses were free. Initially, it was unlocked. The first month, it was unlocked. I thought like I will put it unlocked, like everyone can let them take value. People will share with each other. People will know about ChessMood. Then we will monetize with other way. There will be advanced courses, etc. So the first few days, it was going very fast. People were sharing, and then the share stopped. It didn't go. It didn't go further. Uh, I didn't understand what's going on until one day a guy sent me an email and he said, these courses are amazing. With Grand Prix and French Bishop D3 variation, I am winning everyone at my chess club, and I hope for a long time they will not find ChessMood. So then I felt like, oh, this is something strange, yeah? I tried to copy this model from other industries where somebody created a nice content, gave it for free, and it went viral. People at chess, they are competing with each other. Even
They
if they are
want to keep their secret
friends,
tricks as secret as possible.
yeah. And the real secret, yeah, can be being collaborative. When you share something, when you give and you get, this is like one of the laws of attraction. Yeah, give, just give, and then you get back. And I felt that chess world, even the chess world doesn't understand the power of collaborativeness. And I felt
Hmm.
like the beginner content creators, they also don't understand that it's not about competing, it's about collaboration, and then you just create win-win. Yeah, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I love all the anecdotes you just shared. I mean, I think this is one of the reasons I really like the team chess formats because it really
Mm.
uh, really motivates you to support your team members. And I mean, attending Webster and competing for the team, I mean, everyone was so generous with sharing preparation, and there were different players who specialized in different openings that I'd try and just pick their brain and absorb their knowledge, and they would share novelties, and it was great. And even before Webster, when I was at the University of Illinois, I competed for their team, and it was all student run. We didn't really have a main coach, but we all worked together a ton and all supported each other. And we actually qualified for the Final Four of college chess 2 years in a row. And I think a big part of that was kind of just supporting our teammates and yeah, having that mindset that you're gonna help everyone around you improve, and that's I think that can be so useful in chess, but in so many areas of life.
When I stopped professional chess, I decided, okay, I'm going to play only in Blitz Rapid tournaments and in team championships. Because team championship, as you said, it's different atmosphere, yeah? It's different feeling when you are sitting. I remember when even with, like, we are going to individual European championship. And you are going with Armenian team, yeah, like 10 grandmasters. You are going to individual European championship. You lose the game. People maybe will give you some compassion and talk to you, try to help, but there is no really any connection. You lose, it's just individual. You lose, I win. I'm happy I won. Yeah, in team is different. It's different feeling when you have it. Any advice, Eric, you have for people who start content creating, streaming, putting on YouTube, and they want to grow their channel? Any advice except being passionate, being consistency, and having growth mindset? Yeah, as you said.
Are we talking about chess content creators or just any creator in general?
Yes, chess. I'm speaking chess.
Yeah, with chess, it definitely helps to. I mean, chess is such a vast game, and there's so many different kind of niches and styles that you can have as a chess content creator. And like sometimes in the beginning, when you're first getting started, it might not be clear what kind of niche that you're trying to fulfill. And for me early on, like I was experimenting with a lot of different things, but like over time I realized I kind of had a few things that helped identify my brand. So I think it's important to kind of be self-aware in the beginning, and then try and at least identify what the branding elements can be for you. What kind of things will play to your strengths? For me, of course, I love like the tricky openings and gambits and kind of the stalemate traps or whatever. There's been a handful of things that maybe people these days in the chess world will associate me with. But
stalemate, yeah. My queen, Stafford Gambit.
Early on, I was a huge proponent of London opening, London system, and Ponziani opening, and I think those are a lot of the big ones.
By the way, at ChessMood, I had to, because we are playing E4 openings, sorry about that, but I had to create the refutation of the Stafford Gambit course.
I saw the video. You did a good job. Explaining it.
But I told there, this is according to engine, it's the most unsound gambit you will ever see, but it is the most dangerous, and it is one of the most practical gambits if you are just want to play chess, have fun. There are so many dangers when against Stafford. And myself, initially, when I saw these gambits, etc., I was like, no, like, this is not, they don't sound good. But then when you realize how practical and dangerous they are, you understand that, oh, wow, that it's, even if engine says there is refutation, you play these moves and you get advantage, most of the people will not know that this is the moves. And they just do something else, natural moves, and they are getting lost immediately. So
that's what drew me to the opening. Like, there's dozens of traps, and for an unprepared player, it's so hard to figure out what to do correctly.
Eric, you said niche. Find your niche in chess streaming. Well, I understand that because I was in the business. I understood that. Many of our listeners might not very well understand. What do you mean? You are streaming chess. You're like, what do you mean? Find your niche.
It's true. I mean, when you think of a lot of people who have been successful in the chess content creation space, or even spaces outside chess, part of it is having kind of a unique personality that's catered to a certain audience. I think there's a lot of like chess content creators who have hit the mainstream who are like very high energy, and like when you watch them, you feel this energy kind of radiating through the device that you're watching them on.
Pepe Cuenca,
with the what's that?
It came to my mind, Pepe Cuenca.
Oh yeah, Pepe with the like a high energy Spanish commentary, like as if you're watching a football or soccer match,
Yeah.
or Chess Bras with the techno music, or Botez Sisters too, just
Mm-hmm.
super high energy. But then there's like for me, that wasn't so authentic. It's like it's so important to be true to yourself and like be authentic. And like when I was getting into Twitch and YouTube, like kind of the stereotypical content creator would be that high energy, like I don't even want to embarrass myself trying to like impersonate the that high energy voice, but for me, like I kind of embrace a more calm, relaxing, like kind of mellow style that actually attracted like a lot of people who say that they like to watch my videos to relax, and some people fall asleep to my videos, and over time, like that felt more true to like how I like to make content. Um, and there's other creators like I think Ben Feingold is a great example, who's just like super funny and has a lot of amazing like one-liners, and a lot of his chess lessons sometimes just feel like a extended comedy sketch. And like he was a big kind of role model. I would watch in the early days, like his lectures for St. Louis Chess Club, and then eventually his own channel too. Just super funny guy. And also like John Bartholomew being super instructive and really being beginner friendly. So I think there's a lot of kind of personality styles that you can embody as a content creator.
What you said about authenticity, it is really something I noticed in you. I have not talked to all famous content creators, but whoever I talked, I was like, wow, you are so different. It was like feelings that you are talking with someone else. You saw them
Hmm.
during the streams, and then you are talking live on Zoom call, and it's totally different person. And in your case, I think you are the first one that I met, and like, wow, it's just same person. The way he is during the streams, the same way he is making videos, the same way he is. And what you said about style, it's really very, very important, I think, because many beginners who are starting it, I feel they are copying, maybe sometimes unconsciously, but I can notice, oh, this girl is copying that girl. This guy is copying that with the style they feel like this is the way to do. While, as you said, it's important to be authentic and find your style, yeah? Not copy, just find your style and do that. And tell about niche a little bit. So, for example, you said that your niche was people who are probably who love Gambit, yeah? Who
Yeah.
love.
So if you look across different channels, there's different types of content that creators will make. I could give a few examples. Like, for example, one of the most prominent YouTube channels is Agenmater,
Yes.
and he kind of carved out the niche of making the recaps of like high level tournament games. He was covering like all the current games in the chess world and breaking them down at a level that just a pure chess beginner could understand and enjoy. And he was also like putting out daily content in the early days, beginning of his channel, and I think that allowed him to just grow a lot. And I guess before like Gotham Chess, he was like by far the, the most followed
Yep.
creator. But then there's other channels that will have perhaps a more specific approach. Like there's a channel, Hanging Pawns,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really been an approach about documenting his journey, like starting as kind of an amateur player and showing kind of what approach he's taking to up his game and achieve like master level and beyond. So that can be very interesting for viewers, where it's not just like a lesson video, but it's more documenting the process. And uh, there's there's someone who I used to follow like years ago, only for a brief phase. You probably know the name is Gary Vaynerchuk,
Yeah.
and he would give a lot of like advice in terms of content creation and social media. And he would always say, don't create, but document. And that sometimes can allow you to just be more authentic. Is if you're documenting the process, then you don't really have to worry too much about creating something from scratch. So that's, I think, an approach that
Very interesting. Yeah,
a lot of people take is
document again versus processing.
yeah.
Strong.
So it also helps to like kind of see what's out there and consume content in a mindful way where you're getting inspired from other creators. And if you're a chess content creator, it's good to kind of be aware of what the other chess content creators are doing, but also what creators are doing outside the chess space, and see how maybe you can integrate ideas, let's say in the space of like tennis or other sports or other areas, and see how maybe you can apply that to chess. So there's a lot of approaches you can kind of take these days to get inspiration.
Since we are speaking about advice, let's for a second come back to the chess. Like chess improvement, it's a very big topic, and it's difficult to give this question, what do you think the ways to improve, because for every level is different. If you have 2 hours and you have 8 hours, there is different approach, etc., etc.
Sure.
But still, like you said, for the content creating, you said a few things: passion, consistency, growth mindset. You said 3 things. Do you have something like that universal, 3-4 things that applies for every level in chess improvement?
I love the question. I need a moment. There's definitely one thing that comes to mind immediately.
Yeah.
Which I guess I could start with is self-awareness, is being able to reflect on yourself, like what you do well, what maybe you don't do so well, and also understanding how you learn best. A lot of people like ask me like, what's the best chess book, or what's the best way to improve? And a lot of it depends on the individual, even like which coach should I work with. And I mean, sometimes to become self-aware, you need to try a bunch of different resources and see what resonates with you best. Some people learn really well from books. Some people learn well from video courses. There's some coaches that work really well with a certain type of student, or vice versa. So I mean, being able to reflect and understanding like how you learn best, I think is a super important skill, and can really, I mean, it can lead to a lot of improvement if you identify like the right resources that work well for you, and then go through with them. So yeah,
which is very difficult to do. Yes, being self-aware and objective.
It is, yeah, because sometimes it's also a matter of like addressing what you're not so good at, and kind of reflecting on painful moments, or kind of moments of failure, and yeah, like having like the mental toughness to relive like a painful loss, and understand like the mistakes that you made, whether they're understanding based or psychological based, and then but then identify like how you can fix them for the future.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We have the first, being self-aware. What comes to your mind else, which is kind of universal?
Yeah, I don't want to like overlap with my answers to the previous question.
Well, it can be. So if it's like still passion, it's probably still true. Yeah, you should have passionate about that.
Like passion, yeah. Like if you're, I mean, what I've noticed with a lot of players is sometimes they'll lose a passion because they're not really mixing things up, or they're playing like the same exact opening every game, or just like binging bullet games, and not experimenting enough. And I mean, for me, one way I've managed to stay passionate with chess is just by expanding my opening repertoire to a point where I'm super excited to like learn new weapons and kind of gather an arsenal of different interesting maybe sometimes dubious, but maybe just sometimes offbeat variations that I can surprise opponents with. And I mean, recently, my most recent tournament in Qatar, the Qatar Masters, I was just really enjoying myself because every single game, like I had a new weapon prepared, and I was spending a lot of time with preparation, and I mean every single game I was playing like higher level competition, so it felt like there was no pressure and I could just enjoy myself. And I think part of finding your optimal form is just really enjoying yourself, and I think that's when the mind can work at its best. So yeah, kind of having that love for what you're doing and not being result oriented, but being more learning oriented can really take you a long way.
Yeah, so passion still works here, just as
Yeah.
it was working for that. It's growth mindset still same, right?
So, but so we're talking about
consistency,
chess
said.
improvement. I guess I'll say something that a lot of people overlook in chess, and I think I alluded to it earlier, but I can expand on it, and that's just health. Like overall physical and mental health is, I think, so important. And maybe this overlaps a little bit with like passion, having like the right mental approach. But I think part of like being a good chess player is being able to play chess when you're in your peak mental and physical form. So on good days, a player could maybe play 200 or 300 points above their elo, but on bad days they can play much below. And okay, of course, this is why ratings fluctuate. This is sometimes why you lose or gain 100 points in a single event. But I think if you're very focused on just optimizing your sleep and diet and exercise, also having balance, like not putting in too much time in chess and burning out, but having other things that you're interested in, that can really put you in a good place leading up to a tournament. And like, I kind of felt this way in my most recent event, like in Qatar. Like a lot of things came together. Like I was sleeping well during the event. I went through this phase like for basically starting in May where I was walking 10,000 steps a day, and this was kind of my form of getting like consistent daily exercise. And I had a maybe 120-day streak before one day I got to like 11:30 p.m. and I couldn't quite make the 10,000 steps.
Wait. So
But
10,000 steps you track with your smartwatch?
with
or
my
with your-
smartwatch, yeah, it'll
Yeah.
track how many steps I walk each day. So at some point I realized there's days where like if I'm playing a tournament, it's not practical to wear the watch the whole day and walk 10,000 steps. So I've been a bit more lenient on myself since I
Sorry,
lost the streak.
sorry for interrupting. I will come back
No
to
worries.
that. So there was one funny story. My friend, who was the second of Aronian during the tournament, he said that. So he noticed that Anand was climbing with the floor. So he's going from the first floor, he's walking to the 10th floor, he's coming back, going 10th floor, he's coming back. And he asked, like, what are you doing? And Anand said, like, unfortunately, during this tournament, they don't have a gym. They don't have a place where I can do some physical activity.
I
So
see.
I'm walking with the floors, going and coming back. So you are doing this physical. How many days streak you kept? 120, you said?
It was, yeah, it was definitely over 100. I have this app on my phone, like my watch and phone synchronize. So it's this pedometer app. It's called Pedometer Plus Plus. And it will, like if I'm wearing my watch or having my phone on me, it will track how many steps I'm taking.
Where did you get this idea from to do this 10,000 steps and why you do that?
So it's actually, I'm in a small like friends group. We have a small Facebook chat, and the name of the Facebook group chat, it's called 10,000 Steps. I'll say like who's in it. It's International Master Kostya Kavutsky, Tatev Abrahamian, and Katerina Nemtsova. So we're all chess players. At the time, we were all in St. Louis, and we were trying to just hold each other accountable to this 10,000 steps a day goal. And I think it was for the month of May, we had the challenge where everyone in this group had to walk 10,000 steps a day. And if anyone failed, then that person would have to take everyone else out for coffee. But that was enough to make sure people were held accountable. And
Who was taking for the coffee most? Tatev Abramian?
so, at least for that month, I don't think anyone missed their steps. But then in subsequent months, then we had other kind of challenges and ways, like we each had our kind of personal goals. So we were trying to improve each other with every month. So it does help to have, like, I guess, accountability partners where friends or anyone who's trusted can try and hold you accountable to whatever you're trying to achieve.
And why did you come up with this idea, 10,000 steps? I still didn't get it. Like, why not one hour run or something? Like, why 10,000 steps? From where is the idea?
Yeah, I think walking is easy. And like in St. Louis, we're in the area like of the chess club, and a few blocks away is this big park. It's called Forest Park.
Yes.
And it's such a nice
beautiful
place to walk and just kind of immerse yourself in nature. And there's a zoo, and also, there's a YouTuber who I follow. His name is Matt Diavella. And earlier this year, he made a whole video. Like, he sometimes will do these 30-day challenges. So he did a 30-day challenge of walking 10,000 steps a day. And I think I saw that video in like February or March. But eventually, like, enough motivation built up to actually tackle that challenge.
Got it. What you said, it's so interesting, how important is the mental, and that when you are both good in physical and mental, and often you can play much better that you can think about. I'm sure you have seen, but do you remember the slogan of ChessMood? What is it?
Oh dear. I'm on your email list, and I've consumed a lot of the openings courses, but I don't think you
which one? Tell me which one. Which courses have you watched already?
So, oh man, it was a few months ago, but I definitely watched this Trompowsky course. Actually, the Trompowsky course helped me in my game against Anna Kramling because she tried to surprise me with Trompowsky, and I just used the ChessMood prep against her, and I got a great position.
You won it?
I won it, yeah. We played in Reykjavik back in April. But also, like, the E4 course, like the high-level repertoire of...
With Knight C3, yeah? Because you also play Knight C3,
Sicilian. Yeah. Maybe you've seen my more, like, recent games. I use this a lot.
So you
and then also Accelerated Dragon, too.
Dragon.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of... It's, like, so nice to have access to it because... Like, whenever I'm preparing for an opponent, sometimes I'll just ask myself, if I play the ChessMood repertoire, what will we go into, and are they vulnerable in this? And then sometimes I'll use it for like inspiration and finding some new opening ideas.
Wow, man, it's so interesting to hear. I knew that you are watching sometimes, but I didn't know that you know overall our ChessMood opening repertoire, and it's so cool, like your openness and humbleness and saying, I'm just using ChessMood opening repertoire, because many grandmasters are using it, but they are not telling it. They might do somewhere in our novelty, and they are playing all ChessMood opening repertoire, but they are like, oh, I found that myself, which it was recorded like 3 years ago. It's very nice to see your humbleness. And do you watch some middle game courses as well, or mainly openings?
It was mainly openings, yeah, because I would use it as kind of preparation for specific opponents, and then there were times where, like, I had a few games earlier this year where I was playing the Sicilian as black, and my opponent like surprised me, and then after the game I realized, oh, like, ChessMood has a whole like video lesson on this exact surprise that I wish I got a little bit further. So, yeah, it's part of the learning experience.
Got it. Good. Okay, coming back to that mental part. So I will recall
Sure.
you. The slogan of ChessMood is what we were speaking about, the mental side. Yeah, the slogan is right mood, right move.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely heard that before.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's
when you
I
are in
love
the right
that.
mood, when your mental state is there, I put the analogy with minions. I said, like, imagine there are 1 million minions in your head. And
Sure.
if do you remember, yeah, it's from James Altucher
I listen.
podcast.
I love the interview with James Altucher. Yeah, yeah. I listened to it in March of this year, and I
Okay.
still remember like driving in the car, and I had it on like in the car system, and yeah, like you were explaining the minion analogy, and I
Yeah, yeah.
loved
So
it.
it's like when all these minions are with you, they all want to play chess. You do
Hmm.
good. And when some of your minions are sad, some are in the beach just laying there and having coconut drink. Some minions are just don't care
Sure.
about chess. It's difficult to play. So mental, physical, and this is the. Have you read the book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People?
I've heard of it, and
Classics, Stephen
I've
Covey. Yeah.
I don't have it in. I actually I don't read books these days. I listen to books on Audible, but
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think I have that one in my Audible library. So
Okay, so
might
it's
have
this,
to
this,
to get
this
it.
seventh habit called sharpen the soul, and it is like mainly sharpen your four basic areas. So it
Mhm.
is physical, it is spiritual, it is mental, and it is emotional. So these four things. And I remember when I was interviewing James Altucher, he said the same thing when he from being a multimillionaire when he hit the bottom of his life and he was thinking about suicide. He came back to life through these four things. Every day, daily, doing physical activity. He was doing some other thing. You are doing like 10,000 steps, working on his physical, working his mental, spiritual, and emotional. And this is what I felt like chess players often miss this importance. They think it's just learning chess, reading one more book, watching one more course, and missing all the parts that with mindset you can do. How
Like the
important can
foundational aspects which affect every other area
every
of your
yeah.
life,
This is
right?
like how you can just boost your brain. And this is
Hmm.
like we can I said it like already again. So this is why I started the ChessMood podcast. And the people I'm interviewing is my next guest is Jim Quick, the guy who wrote the Limitless, the bestseller book, and how
Hmm.
to boost the brain. I was interviewing Ben Greenfield, and he was telling us what kind of things we should eat before the game, during the
Nice.
game. What should we drink? What should we do after the game? I'm having like Sean Stevenson who will tell us how to sleep. What's the way to sleep, deep sleep, quality sleep, etc. And unfortunately, people are often missing this thing and thinking it's just one more chess books, one more thing. So I'm not going to ask you this question. What are your recommended books? Why I will not ask this? Because I think people already are buying so many books and never reading them. And
That's
also
probably true, right?
there are so many opinions and they are buying one more book, never finishing it. So I will ask you instead another question. What are the books like that you listen? Yes, I understood you don't read much. You listen mainly.
Hmm.
What are the non-chess books that you think if the chess players read it, it would boost their chess? It would boost their mindset and the aspects that it's related to improving chess.
That's a great question. Yeah. I mean, one of the books which does mention chess, even though it's more a book about learning. It's called The Art of Learning by Josh
Josh
Waitzkin.
Waskin, yeah.
Yeah, and it just talks a lot about like mindset and kind of um, the process of being a beginner in anything and then going from beginner to master. And Josh narrates the audiobook, and it's just such a pleasure to listen to.
Do you know him personally?
No, I don't. I've never met him. I think he's
I
based in
try
New York, though.
I tried to get in touch with him because he was in, he was a chess master. He then switched to martial arts. So we both had very similar background, and then he switched to business. I wanted to connect him, but I couldn't. Okay, so Josh was asking the art of learning. Yeah, do I say the headline correct? The art of learning.
Art of learning, yes.
Art of learning. Okay, what else?
Yeah. There's one. I'm trying to find the name of the author. It's called Flow, and maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah. Flow. There are few books about flow. It's just a flow. Yeah, it is the name.
Yeah. It's like the
The surname that is very hard to
by
very hard to.
Mihaly. Yeah, actually, the surname is like impossible to pronounce.
Csikszentmihalyi, yeah, something like that.
Csikszentmihalyi. Sounds like a good attempt. Yeah.
Polish guy, yeah, from Poland.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listened to this book a couple of years ago, but it talks about kind of this mental state that I think will resonate with a lot of chess players, where like you're kind of in the zone and like nothing else in the world is
everything is turned
like,
off and you are
everything
just
else is
you
turned
and
off.
board.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is what kind of brings people the most happiness and fulfillment, is when they can when they maximize instances where they're in this flow state. And yeah, if you're a chess player and you kind of understand what the flow state is and how to get there, then I think it can be very impactful in actually allowing you to play the best chess possible.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So,
flow.
There's another one called Deep Work by Cal Newport.
Yeah.
And this is one which maybe you're aware of too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the main point is how to do meaningful work in a world that's just filled with distractions. And there's a similar book too, which I listened to more recently, called Stolen Focus by, I forget the author's name, but I'm sure people can find it, which also kind of focuses on this concept of how we live in a world where like we're constantly being consumed by our mobile devices and always getting these notifications, and how to try and live a life where you're doing more meaningful work and can focus on like one thing at a time, and really focusing on like quality work. And I think as a chess player, like when you're studying chess or even playing chess online, it's just so easy to be distracted, especially if you're doing it from a home environment or coffee shop where there's a million things going on at once. And yeah, I think like sometimes we have to take a step back and actually like ask ourselves how can we optimize our own environment to be the most productive. And I think these books do a great job of like diving into kind of how to improve like these very important kind of aspects of your life of doing meaningful work and staying focused. So,
Eric, do you think about writing a chess book one day?
It's crossed my mind. I've actually struggled with writing over the years. Like, even though it always feels good to like put out an article, or I've done like a few pieces for like chess magazines, but I've struggled with just the writing process, because I kind of have this overly perfectionist approach when it comes to writing. And I've really enjoyed, like over the years, I've just enjoyed the notion of producing video content, because there's, I think, less pressure to be overly perfect with what I say. But it's not out of the question that maybe someday I'll release some kind of book or memoir or something. But at least there's no short-term plans for it.
God. Do you still put goals for yourself, or you are just going with the flow and what you are doing?
Yeah, I think my goals are they're definitely not results oriented. mean, I think more recently I've actually just been going with the flow and trying to like at least enjoy every aspect of like career wise and personal life and everything. Um, but yeah, I mean, people ask me all the time, like, are you trying to become a grandmaster or what's your rating goal or whatever? And really, I'm just trying to keep the passion and keep learning as a human and keep kind of discovering new things that I'm passionate about too. So like it can be very refreshing to take a break from chess once in a while and explore things that maybe I'm not so good at that I want to try and improve in. As maybe you know, I recently played this like poker tournament and it was like completely new experience for me. And I'm happy to, I know maybe this is going on a tangent, but it was definitely a highlight of my year in my life so far that back in, it was October 1st, I was invited to this World Series of Poker online main event tournament. Alexandra Botez had like some connections and she invited 5 other content creators to stream and compete in the event. And for maybe 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the tournament, I just immersed myself in like poker theory. And I had never played a poker tournament before, online or in person. I've only played like very small stakes cash games. So I got very into the whole like rabbit hole on YouTube of instructional poker videos, and I was watching Jonathan Little and learning about like the GTO strategy and trying to learn the range charts of when to shove and when to fold when you're short stacked and everything.
Jonathan Little was one of my favorites 10 years ago when I was starting.
Oh wow! Okay.
So he's still producing the content.
I mean, he has so much evergreen content that I was practicing a little bit. Then there would be areas of the game of like I would search for like how to play certain hands or how to play with certain sack sizes, and then of course ICM too, which is a whole thing that's kind of unique to tournaments. So it was so refreshing to kind of to feel like a complete beginner in this whole new world and ecosystem of poker. And of course, it's a lot different from chess because there's a lot of variance, and a lot of people argue there is some luck involved. And of course, like there's things that you can't control that's different from chess, where like it's a perfect information game and you can kind of see everything in front of you. But yeah, I mean the poker tournament like it went incredibly well. I did get lucky, like a few of the early hands I doubled up, and I eventually made it to the second day of the tournament, which ended up netting me a cash prize of like 14, some cash prize in the 5 figures. But then there was also this like streamer challenge of whoever lasted longer among the 6 streamers would get an additional $35,000.
You are first.
So I took first among the streamers. Yeah.
Among streamers, yeah.
So the prize ended up being like about $46,000, which was just nothing I could have ever imagined, for especially my first poker event. But super grateful to even just have the invite to play.
What you said, it also resonates with learning new openings, yeah. And whenever you are getting in the state where you are, I know what I don't know, it's exciting, because often you are in the state where you don't know what you don't know, and when you are learning, I learned this new opening, I learned this. Probably there are many things I don't know. You are in the excited mode. When you are playing a new game of poker, you learn few rules, you learn few things, few concepts, and this is a new world. You are getting into that excited mode, and it's very interesting to live that moment, right?
Yeah, it's super motivating. And like this tournament that I played in Qatar, like I was so excited because, I mean, for a lot of my online chess, I just play the London opening, and it's probably my biggest strength, but for almost all my white games in Qatar, I was playing an E4 repertoire, and just so many positions and variations like I've never explored before that I found so interesting, and a lot of like kind of tricky surprises that opponents were just not expecting. So yeah, it's nice to have that feeling in chess because you not only learn a lot, but it's like a nice surprise value too, because it's like it's not something opponents can be prepared for.
Yeah. You also play tennis, yeah, Eric?
Yeah, avid tennis player. I play a lot in St. Louis with Ray Robson, and there's a lot of chess players who enjoy tennis. And I actually played in the it was called the World Chess Tennis Championship. It was a hybrid tournament. I don't know if maybe you found this online.
Say it again. World tennis?
There's a world championship for chess tennis.
For chess tennis.
Kind
so
of,
it is. Like
kind of
chess
similar
boxing?
to chess boxing. Yeah. So the format of the tournament, I mean, there were only maybe 30 competitors. The way it worked is there were two kind of separate Swiss tournaments. There was 7 rounds of tennis. So 7 tiebreakers against different opponents, and then 7 rounds of rapid chess. And then the top 4 combined scores then competed in a hybrid format match. So I was actually lucky enough to finish 4th among the field. So I moved on. I got to play Grandmaster Sebastian Maze in the semifinals from France. Yeah. And the semifinals, it featured a format kind of similar to chess boxing, where it was 6 points of tennis and then 6 minutes of chess until either you reach, I think, 18 points in tennis or the chess game ends. We were playing with like a 15-minute time control. So it was super cool. I really enjoyed it. Even though I got crushed by Maze, like he overpowered me in tennis and in chess as well. He actually ended up winning on the chessboard. But it was a really cool event, and it was in Baden-Baden, Germany, and I do hope to return for next year.
Do you know Melkumen Rand?
I know the name. I can't remember if I've met him in person, though.
Yeah, he is kind of not playing much. He plays what you are playing. So he plays chess, he plays poker, and he plays tennis.
Nice.
And he's quite good in tennis, very good. He's training already 10 years. I remember once there was funny incident. So it was 2012 maybe, and we were playing chess Universiada. So it was very big event, like just like Olympiad. All the sports are there. Just in this case, there is also chess. So there is going soccer, swimming, weightlifting, and there is also tennis. So Rand was like you. He was always was walking, running, doing some physical activity before the games, after the games. So before the game, he went to play tennis. It was funny. Like he came to the tennis, he came to the chess Universiada, but he came with his tennis racket, and people were thinking that he's tennis player, but he was chess player.
Oh, that's funny.
And then once he's going to do his physical activity, to just play a little bit tennis with him, with the wall, and he is like a national team player from another country. He's practicing before the game, and Rand says like, do you want to play? I'm amateur, and the guy who is preparing for the next match for the Universiada says like, let's try. So they are playing, and Rand winning this guy who is playing tennis for the Universiada in the
that's great.
representing for the national team. Eric, you are just going with the flow, and you are just enjoying what you are doing, and I recalled the. Have you seen my detachment article? Like detach from the result and enjoy what you are doing. It's so resonates.
I don't think I've seen the article, but I know the concept. Yeah.
Yes. And are you familiar with Eckhart Tolle?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
Have you heard the book The Power of Now?
I've heard of that book.
Yeah,
yes.
it's this what you are kind of doing. Yeah, just being in now, enjoying this moment, and going with the flow. So I had initially this question in my mind to ask you, where would you like to be after 5 years? But I realized that I should not ask you this question because you are just going with the flow, enjoying it. following your passion, right? And you'll see where it will take.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't even know where I'm going to be like next year. Like, I've just started to try and plan my 2024, but even like next month, December, it's like trying to figure out what my plans will be.
But it's a very interesting way to live, right?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you never know what opportunities will come up. And, I mean, as we approach the end of this year, I'm just trying to reflect on like all the experience I've had over 2023, and like there's been so many cool people I've met, and like cool experiences, and like amazing tournaments, and just things I never thought I would do, like this poker tournament or this chess tennis event. So it's been fun to look back.
Eric, let me ask you the last question. I hope in the future I will invite you one more time. You will accept it, and we'll have the second part. But for today, I want to ask you these questions that I'm asking all my guests. The last question: what's your one wish to chess players who wants to improve and also have fun at the same time? What's one wish do you have for them? One wish, one advice.
One wish. I want to say something that I haven't said already. Like, obviously, I want them to enjoy
to follow the passion.
Yeah.
It can be same. You can summarize it. What we have gone through, you can summarize it. Go ahead. Fine.
Yeah. Let me take a small moment here.
Sure.
Like, I'm hoping to say something, bring a little bit more value. One wish. I think I'd wish for people to... Oh, man. I think for people to enjoy the journey rather than the final destination. I think a lot of people are results and rating oriented, and sometimes it's so easy to get caught up on a certain goal, but if you enjoy the process, it will bring hopefully a lot more fulfillment, and it will hopefully also allow you to reach your full potential, because that way you're just kind of going along for the ride, and hopefully that will also allow you to overcome any obstacles or challenges that you face. So yeah, focus on the journey, similar to life.
Focus on the journey, enjoy the journey, yeah. I was thinking how I'm going to title this episode. I was thinking when we were talking, some ideas were coming, like learn to lose, embrace the challenge, get out from comfort zone. But this last thing, what you said, enjoy the journey, I think it's very cool, and probably one of the most important things for people. And when it chess, it's so easy to get obsessed with goals, to have 1500 rating, 2000 rating, 2200 rating, get FM title, get AM title, and then often you don't enjoy it. Recently I tweeted that I put it something like this. I'll try to recall it. It was, if you are if you want the end results more, and you will enjoy from the end results more than from what you are doing now, something is very wrong in your system.
Yeah.
And this is what many people are doing. Yes, they are struggling, spending some years not having fun just to get that 2000 rating. And so when they are getting, they are happy one day, second day, and the third day there is again this emptiness.
Yeah, it can take a lot of effort to kind of shift that mindset and kind of take a step back, think big picture, think about long term rather than just short term. And yeah, I mean, there's a quote I like that the master has lost more games than the beginner has ever played. So
yes,
in order to get good at something, you have to have a lot of failure and be able to learn and move on.
Wow, this was very, very interesting, Eric. I knew you as a very nice guy, and it's not just me who knew this. I think the chess world knows Eric Rosen. If there was like, let's do some voting and give what kind of person Eric is, I think the nice guy will win. but I didn't know much how you are in this power of now just going with the flow, ignoring what society wants from you, ignoring the traps, ignoring the things. You are just living with your way, with your values, with your philosophy. This was very cool. Thank you very much, man, for coming and sharing all these things. And thanks so much for helping the chess world, for entertaining. Thank you very, very much.
And thank you too. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Avatik. Really enjoyed the chat, and hopefully people can get some value from this. So I'll be happy to have a part 2, hopefully someday.
Thank you very much, my friend. And at some point we touched this topic, yeah, how important are our early supporters when we are just starting something, and these people are giving us like boost to continue that doing. So maybe together we will now embrace like our gratitude to all our early supporters and today's supporters who are helping us, and they are pushing us forward.
Definitely, yeah. Big things to all the fans out there who've just made such a amazing ecosystem for chess as we see it today. So definitely important to be grateful.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks, Avatik. It's a pleasure.
Champions, here are my 3 takeaways. First one, do it with passion or just don't do it. Second, constantly keep learning new things and maintain excitement. And the third one, be consistent in your craft and always keep growing. In the comments, please share your takeaways, and I will see you in the next episode.